Welcome back. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the subjunctive in Spanish and its uses. So if you're looking for information on conjugations or irregular verbs in the subjunctive, definitely check out some of the internet resources. There are plenty. If you want to review some of these rules after you're done, if it helps you to see it in writing, I definitely recommend SpanishDict.com. They won't cover all of the same concepts that I'm going over, but it is a fantastic starting place. So definitely check those out. We'll get into the uses though today. So weirdo is a phenomenal acronym that I love to teach students when they're learning the subjunctive. Weirdo spells out all the uses that you could use the subjunctive for in Spanish. Now, an important concept is that the subjunctive is not actually a tense. You're talking about a mood. So definitely keep that in mind. Subjunctive is when you're imposing your will, and we'll get into exactly what I mean by that, or you're expressing something emotional, desires, thoughts, opinions. So not hard facts. So I like to think back to my journalism days and the separation between fact and opinion. When you have something that's a fact, it's going to be in the simple present. When you have it in the subjunctive, it's because it's something that's expressing some sort of emotion behind it. So our W in weirdo is because we're talking about wishes. So wishes, like espero que pases feliz día. I hope that you have a nice day. You'll notice that there's a subject change. I am wishing that for you. So when you have that subject change, you're going to go ahead and use the subjunctive. I'm wishing something for you. I have a desire for something to happen for you. Emotions is our E in weirdo. So for emotions, I might say, me da cólera que él llegue tarde. I'm mad that he comes late. So I'm expressing not a fact that he comes late, but really how I feel about that, my emotional reaction to that. And because it's emotional reaction, that second verb is going to take the subjunctive, right? Now we move on to the I, impersonal expressions. So in personal expressions, what that means is when you're saying in English the equivalent of it's necessary to do something. So there's a difference, and there are two different ways, and I'll explore this in a further video, but there are two different ways to really use that. You could use it with an infinitive or the subjunctive. What's the difference? Very quickly in one sentence, if you're wishing it for someone else, like you're saying, es necesario que él venga a las 9, it's necessary for him to come or show up at 9, then you're expressing who, and you want to use the subjunctive for that. If you say, es necesario estudiar, you're not saying who studies, you're just saying in general a proclamation. So that actually doesn't fall under impersonal expressions for the subjunctive. In that case, you would be using the infinitive. And like I said, we'll explore that topic a little bit more in a further video, but just to give you a little overview, those impersonal expressions of, es necesario que traigas tu tarea. It's necessary that you bring your homework. Those things, when I want to say in general, not who is telling you to do it, but just that it's a necessity that you do it. It is impersonal because I'm not saying who's demanding it of you. And then the second verb is going to go into your subjunctive. The next one, our R for weirdo, is recommendations. So if I tell you a recommendation, I'm giving you my point of view, has that emotional attachment to it, so you're going to use that subjunctive mood. It's not a hard past fact. I might say, es recomendable que vengas temprano a la clase. So when I'm telling you it's recommended that you come on time to class, or early to class, I'm imposing my will on you. I'm telling you what you should be doing, and it's a matter of really opinion. So in that case, I'm going to use the subjunctive. Then after that, when we have our D, we're expressing doubt. That's what the D in weirdo is for. So if I say, dudo que ella venga a tiempo hoy. I doubt that she's going to come on time today. When I'm saying that, I'm expressing my opinion on the fact, right? I'm not really expressing a hardcore fact that I could publish in a newspaper, for example, to get back to that journalism analogy. So in that case, I'm going to use the subjunctive because it's not a fact. It has that emotional, opinion-oriented feel to it. And then the last one, the O, is ojalá. And I kind of mentioned that before when we were talking about wishes. Ojalá is wonderful. Ojalá is, for example, it's in a lot of songs. Juan Luis Guerra, Ojalá que llueva café, very famous song. If you are not familiar with it, this is a nice chance to look it up, kind of to go hand in hand with what you're doing to study the subjunctive, to also hear it. Ojalá actually comes from Arabic roots, and so it actually means that Allah grants something, and so there's a long historical reason for that, but Essentially, it's saying, I wish that something would happen. And when people use this, they might be religious or not religious. It really doesn't have that connotation associated with religion much anymore, but you're saying, ojalá que, back to our previous example, ojalá que pases feliz día. So I said earlier, espero que pases feliz día, and now I'm going to use ojalá. When I'm saying ojalá, it's the same idea of those wishes. I'm taking what I want for you, and I'm in a way pushing it off onto you. And so when I do that, that exertion of my will upon you, that is when I'm going to use the subjunctive. So to try and conceptualize without going through each and every example, if you're finding that a bit overwhelming, like I said, you want to think about the subjunctive as mood, as emotion, as opinion, as things that are not just necessarily black and white and easily proved. So that's when you're going to go to your subjunctive. Another important tip to look for is que, because que is used in most of these phrases. So I would say, ojalá que, and then I finish my sentence. The que, a lot of times when you have these opinion-oriented verbs or direction-oriented verbs, or I'm telling you to do something type of verb, when you have those, then you're going to go into the subjunctive. Also, interesting to note that there should be subject changes, and I was mentioning this along the video, but this is definitely a point to look for. If I'm saying, I want to arrive on time, or I would say quiero llegar a tiempo. But if I'm telling you I want you to arrive on time, I want it for you, there we go back to me exerting my will on someone else, my opinion, my emotion. And so when that happens, now we're going into the subjunctive. Quiero que vengas a tiempo. Quiero que traigas tu lapicero. I want you to bring your pen. I want you to arrive on time. These things are an exertion of will. So I really hope that this has helped clarify a little bit how we use the subjunctive. Feel free to post questions that you have, and I will be more than glad to answer them over the videos. And I hope that you are having a great week of studying, speaking, and connecting with the world. Have a great day.